told you life was gonna be this way.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the number one podcast of our generation. Today, we have a lot to cover. We are going to talk about Reddit stories, and our good friend Mathew Perry just passed away. And we have a few thoughts on it. Not about like
a spiritual friend of the pod.
Spiritual friend. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he ever knew us, but
He didn't know he was friends with us.
Yeah.
But we were friends with him.
I think you had to say that like everyone in that cast, and I think even like just the group in like with a lot of sitcoms like How I Met Your Mother, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and like Friends, all of them are your friends. Like, you know, like you feel
Absolutely.
like, and that was the point of the show where you're with these guys.
I mean, that was, I was saying, the peak age of TV shows where like it was a ritual every week or every day to watch an episode. I mean, I was a culprit of watching a lot of reruns. And so, you know, Monday night, I would watch How I Met Your Mother. I actually grew up watching that. Friends, I didn't really watch as much, but I know a lot of people did. And, man, it's going to be different. Even though the show's been done for, at this point, 15 years?
I think they did a 20-year anniversary or something. The reunion was just last year or something like that, right?
Okay, so a lot longer than I thought.
It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. I mean, COVID, it was all like that. 3 years were just 1 year in my eyes. I mean,
I remember it because it was a big year for reunions because the Fresh Prince had one, and then so did they. And I know that Harry Potter also had one around the same time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The whole thing was, I think what separated Friends from everyone else, because it was like one of the first of their time to do it, right? Like they were like one of the first people that like got that big paycheck of $1 million an episode.
And they were testing the waters of what's okay on network television week over week.
And like I think one of the most uplifting thing that like connected with a lot of people, especially my age, is like when you're looking at life, especially nowadays with like social media and stuff, and you think, wow, I'm missing out. I don't have a big car. I don't have a house. And like I'm in my 20s and I'm not doing these things that I see on social media. And then you recognize that like, oh, Ross, Phoebe, Rachel, Joey, and Chandler were all in their 30s, like in their late 20s when this show started. And they were just figuring stuff out.
A lot of these shows do that. Because How I Met Your Mother, he also started in his, right, like almost 30, I thought.
Well, I think it was like late 20s and then he became 30s after like 2 seasons or something. So
it becomes relatable at that age because otherwise you're right. Like the expectation is you don't have it figured out. Sorry, you're going to say something?
Yeah, so I mean, I was just kind of going along with the same theme as you, where I think, that was the beautiful part about it. They were still living in an apartment. They didn't have to deal with, crazy mortgage, interest rates and mortgage prices.
I mean, they addressed it, but yeah.
I do think that like that one was crazy in itself because the size of that fucking apartment in New York would be an arm and leg no matter where you go.
Yeah, but a common thing though they talk about, because you're right, a lot of people have mentioned that. But
rent control.
They addressed it with rent control.
Yeah,
because it was like, oh my gosh, whose was it?
It was Monica's grandma.
Monica and Ross's grandma.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I was like someone's grandmother, and so it was like locked in some like crazy low rates where people. I mean, there are times where they didn't have jobs, but they still lived there.
No
problem.
And I mean, it's funny that you say that because the apartment right across was, Chandler and Joey's apartment. I know that a lot of people like switched around in that apartment, but for me, I think it was always Chandler and Joey's apartment, and that was not owned by Monica's grandma, and that was still affordable.
That's true.
On just Chandler's salary because Joey didn't make much in the beginning.
Yeah, that's fair. I forget. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'll admit it early on. I didn't watch the whole show.
Whoa.
I need to watch it. Actually, now this is kind of like the kick in the butt I needed to get myself to watch it. It's easily consumable, and I'm missing. I was telling you guys earlier, like I need another 20-minute show, and that's this.
But they were on a break.
So was he with the show. See, now I don't feel as bad about Gladiator now.
Because you haven't seen Friends. I mean, I'm never.
I do think that like my favorite running gag for that show was at one point, like in a random later season, they were all chilling in the coffee house like they always do, Central Perk. And then it was like,
I was wondering if you knew the name.
Yeah, and it was like the middle of the day, right? And they were just like all dressed up and stuff. They're like, dude, none of us have jobs. Shouldn't we all be at work right now?
And then they just all realize and then just dip.
Yeah.
And I don't know who said it, but that sounds like I hear Chandler's voice.
It was
with
Chandler.
that.
He was like, "Oh, I should be somewhere. I should be somewhere. What could it be? It's 12 o'clock on a Monday or something like that."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh crap, we should all be at work." And then
I'll take all your word for it. That sounds right. It sounds real.
No, but I think one of my favorite people from that show. I think everyone's favorite is Joey, obviously, because Joey is just
not for me.
Not mine. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. So I will say I like Joey. He's that comedic relief you need. Like he's the Barney. Barney is the Joey of How I Met Your Mother, right?
Yeah.
But it's a toss-up between Chandler and honestly, like the one that I can kind of connect most with is actually Monica.
You were fat when you were growing up?
Fat fuck boy?
No, you were not. I've seen your pictures. That is not true.
No. But I'll say like the uptightness, like the very like needs to be done a specific way, particular that kind of stuff. That's and I didn't connect because like I was her. It was more like like
I could see that.
yeah, and it's kind of and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
You're uptight. Never noticed.
I use the word particular instead.
No, but I like even besides the death of Matthew Perry, in my opinion, I think Chandler was my favorite character.
He was that quirky guy, you know?
It was not just quirky dude. I think it was just like, yeah, he had a fucked up childhood. He made so many jokes, but at the end of it, like, he was the guy that, in my opinion, won.
Oh, he 100% won.
Right? Like, he
life.
married the love of his life. They, like,
Well, he was the thing, and he grew the most, right? Like, he grew the most. The whole thing that I hear is that I frequently hear my wife, and you guys obviously also, just hardcore Friends fans, right? And so she was like, yeah, like he's the one that was unstable. No one knew what he did. He just kind of like went with the flow, and then he's the one that settled down. He's the one that had kids. Spoilers, sorry, but he's the one that like had the kids. I think they adopted, but still, right? Like
so let's go through character graphs, right? Like, because I think I'd really love this, and we're not gonna go too deep into this, but just like top few things, right? So Ross is my least favorite character, and
no surprise.
Same here.
Yeah, it just annoying.
Sorry, Mr. Schwimmer.
Loved him in Madagascar, though.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of things. I just can't
voice?
remember it.
I think he voiced the giraffe in Madagascar.
I don't know why that feels on brand.
Because I know the hippo was voiced by Jada Pinkett Smith.
Whoever Melman was, that's David Schwimmer.
That's the giraffe.
That's the giraffe. Perfect.
Yeah, because I know the hippo was Jada Pinkett Smith. The zebra was Chris Rock. He was the giraffe, and I forgot who the lion was.
So you are smarter than a fifth grader.
Yes.
All right, so character study.
Okay, so character study. Okay, Ross, right? So Ross went through just a few changes. Always wanting to be together with Rachel. Tried it, didn't work out. They were on a fucking break. They weren't on a fucking break. It's all sorts of... I am, by the way, on the team that they were clearly well-defined on a break, and...
No, he was definitely on a break. He brought a different bitch to this vacation.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Oh, that I forgot that they were on a break during that part.
No. I think you're wrong. Okay, you're
the bald chick, right?
Yeah,
or the girl that shaved her head.
So what happened at that point is he brought her along, but he also broke up and sent her back right after. But
You're right, and then it got fucked up because Joey and Rachel started hooking up then.
No. You're a couple of seasons ahead. Yeah,
that's fair enough.
And I think they just hooked up like a couple of times. But yeah, again, completely different seasons. But I mean, what essentially happened is they were trying to get back together, and Rachel finally considered that she wants to get back together. So she wrote him a 10-page front and back letter at like 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning. And he's like, yeah, I read it all. And then they hooked up. But then when she found out he didn't read it and respect that, they broke up again. Because they kept fighting.
Was it tough to defend this dissertation when you had to present it? I don't know. I just want to know.
But okay, so kept going back and forth with Rachel. tried it with a bunch of different women, got married to a couple of women. Consistent joke that Ross just keeps getting married and divorced like all the fucking time, and then finally ends up with Rachel.
So he was like a one or two trick pony. I mean, again, Ross just was not a fan of him.
Yeah.
His character didn't vibe with me.
The other character, I would say, Monica was also kind of like not enough story out there. Well, the first story was she was fat, she became skinny, but that was all off screen, right? Then I don't know.
There was a time lapse, right? Or I don't know.
No, it wasn't a time lapse. It was just like when the show started, she was skinny, but they kept going back into the past, right? Where,
it was
when
a good
she
way
was.
to kind of. It was a good way to kind of
Yeah.
indicate that you're in a flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I don't think she changed a lot. I think she was always like, stuck up, like, you know, the type A personality with ADHD and like super competitive, and that's stuck throughout. I think the only thing they like mentioned is like her mommy and daddy issues, and she like kind of
Ross.
and she kind of never got over that either.
Yeah, I don't think she ever got over that. But I mean, she fell in love with Chandler, and that was her character development, and they finally had kids. And she got married because that's all she always wanted to do, and she was always worried that she won't be able to do that. So again, I think those two siblings are like the least favorite characters in my book.
Yeah, as far as defined characters, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
Then I would put Rachel because again, Jennifer Aniston is hot. Jennifer Aniston is cool, but I think there was not enough story for Jennifer Aniston.
I think there's actually the opposite. I would actually put Phoebe there because Phoebe was always that spiritual, crazy, like
but she has such
chick.
a backstory. She
And
had
then-
like a crackhead as a dad. You had like her
dad was
she,
not a crackhead. Her dad just
she grew
left.
up in the streets.
Yeah, but they only use that for like comedic relief. They never like built into it or anything like that. And they're like, oh yeah, she's a twin sister, and like you see twin sister at random times,
2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Well, no, you also
And-
see that like nothing in life ever worked out for her. You know.
But it was just like, yeah, nothing in life worked out. But like it was always a laugh, and then you move on. There was never like Phoebe themed episodes, right?
Well, there was that one where the grandparents, like her mom died or someone, or grandma died, and when she found out who was her father, and she actually met him.
Yeah, like other than that, dude. But like the reason I think Rachel's was better is because she was one of the main protagonists in the beginning, right? She came into this coffee shop with a wedding dress as this person that like had no sense of money, no sense of like, you know, very entitled.
Yeah.
Right? And then she goes from that to, okay, I'm making it on my own. I'm learning to live by myself, to working up, doing what she's good at, going up the corporate ladder and working at, I think, Calvin Klein or...
She's a buyer for maybe. Let's just use Calvin Klein. I don't know.
I think it was also Gucci at one point.
No, it was
or
not
at least her
Gucci.
last job was, I think, Gucci, right?
I don't know. I thought department store, but maybe Macy's or something. I don't know why I thought those, but
Bloomingdale's.
Bloomingdale's. There you go. Something like that.
She did
Bloomingdale's in the
That
beginning.
sounds right. I don't know why.
And then she did something else. I'm forgetting.
I forget who it is because like they mentioned the designer, like, oh, I met Calvin or someone in the elevator.
No.
She had her fall, right? So she also worked at the coffee shop. Like, I mean, I'm the whole thing's I'm in agreement with you in that she was a very well developed. She was a very developed character. They spent a lot of time with that.
I'm willing to switch my vote up. Yeah, I would say Phoebe and then Rachel. And then second place, I would put Joey up there because, I mean, if you look at it.
Oh, Joey's great character.
Great character.
She worked at Ralph Lauren.
Ralph Lauren, yeah. I kept thinking polos, but then I couldn't connect it for some reason.
No,
I
it was
don't know
Ralph
why.
Lauren, and like I remember the episode where like she met Ralph in the elevator with her boss, and
Yeah.
all
And then
that.
the smoke breaks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joey. So then I would say Joey would be my number 2 because it just makes sense, right? Joey had a really cool storyline of, he's a actor who is, people think he's not that good. He's very dumb, but at the same time, he understands emotional cues. He's always there. He's like that, teddy bear. He's that brother. He, at one point, was willing to marry Rachel and Phoebe both, right? Like, he's like, I will do this for you guys,
He had range, ultimately, right? And that's the thing I enjoyed about. And I get it. Yeah, Joey was the comedic relief, but you're right. Like, you also need to feel for him.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing the comparison with him and Barney from How I Met Your Mother, because Barney was very well developed too, because
Exactly, yeah.
you have that room to work with that kind of a character, and the fact that he stuck around for all 8 or 10, how many seasons? 10 seasons is an achievement because he's very present.
Yeah, and I think they actually took that from, I would say, Friends, where Joey and Rachel didn't end up together because Ross and Rachel was such a big thing.
Yeah.
But Barney and Robin did end up together, got divorced, and then Robin, and Ted could end up together. So
Yeah.
they did give Barney that opportunity, like.
And they had similar character arcs, right? Like I recently watched the episode after Chandler and Monica's wedding, right? Where they don't know, like they know that Rachel is pregnant, but they don't know who was the father. And they're still trying to hide it by saying that Phoebe was pregnant. And like when Joey finds out, he's like, who's the father? Give me the name. Blah, blah, blah. Like I'll like, cause they said that he might not want to be part of the child's life. And Phoebe says some random guy that annoyed her at the gym, his name. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to go find him and I'm going to whoop his ass. And like he goes out of there. And then like similar thing happens with Barney. No, with Barney.
Oh, with Barney. Okay.
In How I Met Your Mother, where like after Marshall and Lily break up.
Oh yeah,
That episode where like Marshall is still processing, grieving, bitching, and moaning. He just like, I can't take this anymore. And we just think he left the bar. But what he did was he went straight to the airport.
We actually find that out like almost at the end of the season, what he actually did.
Like he went
Dude,
straight.
that flashback was dope.
Yeah, he went straight to the airport, went to California or San Francisco. I mean, same. And then was like, you're making the biggest mistake of your life for staying here, blah, blah, blah. And that's all I'm going to say. And he dips.
No, he gives her a return flight ticket to New York anytime she wants to use it, because he knows that like she won't have enough money left.
Yeah,
and she won't
Agreed.
make it in this without Marshall. Like she could have made it, like I think in the later seasons that she does pretty well for herself with the art business, or at least she knows what good art is.
She's an art collector, yeah.
Yeah. But
Curator.
so basically he was there for that. And now,
So number 2 is Joey.
yeah. And
Okay.
the reason why I think, which leads to Chandler being our number 1, and it has nothing to do with, the recent events. I think I've always resonated with Chandler a lot because he's that quirky person who's like awkward in situations. He's still a child who needed a lot of growing up, He needed that support and love, and he just thought that the world didn't work this way until someone showed him that the world did. And then it just like opened his mind completely. Like a good example of this is the bath scene. Like he has never taken a bath before. And then, Monica's like, you could take a bath by yourself.
I'm gonna give you an all-in bath here.
And here's a boat if you feel feminine or something like that. But you
Bubble
can
bath, you had a
bubble
bubble bath.
bath, yeah.
And then they play into where they're like, everyone goes in the bathroom one after the other, and that's where they do pretty much the gender reveal for Rachel's baby before, long before gender reveals burn down forests and cities.
Yeah.
Pretty tame.
I wonder
Wildfires.
what that time was.
Yeah. No, but like it was not just that, right? Like you see this person that is hurt, right? Like damaged. You could say damaged goods, and like he says it himself, where like he came from a fucked up home, not like abusive fucked up, but neglect.
A lot of things were happening. Yeah.
Yeah, neglect.
Yeah.
Right. His mom was always focused about her books and all of that stuff and writing and doing her own thing, and the dad was living a second life because he hasn't come out. The dad had not come out of the closet at that point.
Yeah.
And like he said, like the Bings, no one named the Bings are happy. They just use the pool boy for their own sexual games.
Ask Microsoft, man. Ask Microsoft.
Damn. Nice.
I hate you.
So the other thing I'll say, like I know we're focusing a lot on the Friends part of it, but I think we talked about this a week or two ago. Also, this is like fucking crazy. We talk about so much shit on this pod that becomes very relevant the week or two after we talk about it. Like we somehow talked about Mathew Perry like a couple weeks back, right? And I was telling you guys how like I thought of Mathew Perry first as a movie star rather than like a character on Friends.
Which is crazy because I don't know a single person outside of you who thinks like that. But I mean, you noted some really good movies. I haven't gotten around to watching them yet, but I know he did some really awesome work on it.
Yeah, well, so I watched growing up. I really liked the movie called The Whole Nine Yards. And fun tidbit I just learned recently is that he made a bet with Bruce Willis that, hey, if this movie does well, because Bruce Willis was not on board. He's like, dude, garbage movie, blah blah. And he's like, listen, do this. If it does well, obviously you've made a lot of money, but I want you to come on Friends free of charge. Now, as you all know who've seen the movie or the show, he came on the show. And the whole thing is that he donated what his fee was. I forgot to a charity or something like that. But
I think it was.
No, it's like that movie is. I was recently telling my brother too. I'm like, hey, we should just rewatch this movie to, like, in honor of Matthew Perry, because growing up, like, I mean, honestly, that was it was a big movie. Like, we watched that movie a lot, and it just came out at like a good time in my life.
What's the name of the movie?
The Whole Nine Yards.
Yeah, I think the charity was Matthew Perry's charity, actually.
Okay.
And the reverse of the bet, if the movie didn't do well, he was going to donate his fees.
Fair.
Which would
just
be
to
a lot
fair.
higher as a series regular.
Yeah.
As a series regular, you get paid a shit
It was
ton.
for the movie. It was not for the show. Like, it
But
was not.
for Bruce Willis, it was the show. So I assume that.
I thought it was the same thing. Like, just like an episode, a fee from one episode would be donated or something.
I
or
mean,
either
towards
or.
the end of that 12th season, I think it was 12 seasons total, right?
Yeah, I mean, Rachel was making the most. I think it was $1 million an episode or something crazy.
I think all of them were
They're
really
making
around
dope.
there. Yeah,
like, yeah, because they were
million
on
an episode is
You
insane.
couldn't write them off at that point, right? Like, how would you write off a character?
Yeah.
like them, right? And they built the blueprint, because I think at that point there was may have been overlap with Friends and How I Met Your Mother or some of the other shows.
No, there was no. I think 30 Rock or something like that would be overlapping, but nothing.
But you'd have like this, like, they've developed and I don't know if it was only them, if some show preceded them. I just didn't watch any of those either. Is they developed the blueprint of a, like, 5 or 6 close friends group where you have, the serious one, the comedic relief, the couple, as well as, the wild card that kind of can go between all of them.
So I like that you mentioned, like, how much they're making, because towards the end of Friends, they made a 1.1 million an episode, and the thing is, that's all of them.
Each of them. Wow.
Because as they were good friends and coworkers, I think Matthew Perry and Jennifer Aniston were the ones to lead the negotiation and be like, we all want to be paid the same.
The pay parity, man.
And that's contrast to every other sitcom we see, because, like, Big Bang Theory, How I Met Your Mother, right? Sheldon got paid the most. Sheldon and Kaylee Cuoco.
I was saying Kaylee Cuoco.
Yeah, because I mean,
right?
that made sense.
Then you have Barney Stinson. He made a shit ton more. I'm blanking on his name right now.
Neil Patrick
Neil
Harris.
Neil
Harrison,
Patrick Harrison, yeah, like the white Harold and Kumar White Castle star himself.
Star.
He stole the show, dude.
Homeboy made a cameo. It was a great cameo.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He made more than everyone else, but, like, that goes to speak more about Matthew Perry, because, like, everyone, like, and how good friends they were. Roll
I
credits.
see what you did there.
But they helped him throughout his addiction in Friends, like Jennifer Aniston and all these people, and they all looked out for each other, even when these problems were hidden. And, like, even after the show ended, like in a reunion, I think they said, if you see someone, like, from this Friends cast at a party, that's it, night's over. Say goodbye to the people you're with, say goodbye to everyone else, because you would just be with this person for the rest of the night talking.
So I'm going to stop this right here, because one of the other things that I want to talk about is exactly what he wanted as a person, right? I'm going to take Friends out of him, because I don't think Friends just defines him. So one of the things that I'll start off with is what happened and how did it happen. First thing I will say, what happened was, I mean, we don't know everything. We've just read a couple of articles. But from what happened is, I think Matthew Perry went for a game of pickleball. He played for 2 hours, and this sounds very made up, but no, he had a coach and everything for pickleball. And he came back from a game and he asked his assistant to grab some groceries or something. And he went into his jacuzzi and somehow drowned. I don't have enough details around exactly what happened and how he drowned himself in the jacuzzi, but
That's crazy, man.
yeah,
He had to have gone unconscious for something else, and then
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
because the tox screen reports that there was no presence of any other drugs or alcohol.
Yeah, he's been sober for a year at that point, and he's been in and out. He's been in and out, but he's been sober for at least a year. That's what one of the reports that I read. Could be longer, could be less.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
100% sure. But yeah, that was the case. And then when the assistant came back in 2 hours, he was passed away.
Yeah, that's a scary sight to come to. And on top of that, you know, especially when you just stepped away for a little bit
Yeah.
and suddenly you come back, you know, you could have just gone like literally just used the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
And maybe done like one other thing, and suddenly you come back and he's gone.
No, and I genuinely feel bad because two things, right? One was that I think that we talked a lot about Friends, but he has done so much, and even in his memoir, he says that like he knows that people are going to remember him for, you know, Chandler Bing, but he wants to be known for something else.
That's exactly what I was getting to.
It was for his program, right? Like he helped other people like with addiction. He guided them. It was kind of like a Big Brother program where everyone held each other accountable. He was part of it himself, and he coached many a star with their addiction.
Yeah, and his program, he wanted to be known for that, like you said, and he also wanted to know for his other work as well. He clearly said that I know that when I die, people will know me as the Friends actor, and that's what the headlines is gonna read. But I wanted to also be known as a person who helped people, and I think that matters a lot, right? So I want to, address that he was more than just a Friends actor. Friends was a part of him, but not the whole him. He has done quite a lot of other work, like we discussed, The Whole Nine Yards, and a couple of other movies. That
I mean, you guys know 17 again, right?
17 again, yep.
Where, Of course, apparently young him was Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go with it.
Yeah. So things like that, right? Like, I mean, people forget that, and that's a big deal. One of the things that did tick me off about this whole thing, and Mathew Perry just passed away. I think the first calls were probably made to the close family, and then to the studio, because they probably have to let all the studios know of what's going on with the specific actor, right?
Yeah.
I think the news broke to us around like 6 p.m. or later. I think at least by the time I saw this, it was like at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And I think it was around the same time I think we all read it as well, because we all started talking about it.
Yeah, we got whenever we got the Apple News alert or Google News alert, that's when we started talking for sure.
So that was a shocking thing. But what I didn't really like is I turned on my TV, and the first thing I see, so I have a Google TV, and it kind of shows banners of like what I should be watching, and it's very ad based. So your streaming service has to advertise or publicize what they want to recommend. And the first thing I see is Friends, and then underneath it says In Memoriam with the subtitle, and kind of broke my heart, because these companies, HBO, was trying to advertise on something that happened 6 hours ago, or probably less, right?
This is going to piss you off even more, okay? They've already recorded tribute videos for a lot of their like big actors and actresses. So I'm sure that they, like whenever it's released, they're going to wait the appropriate amount of time, all that kind of stuff. It's just a wait. It's already been done. It's already been edited and already recorded. So, it's just they add on if he does anything notable from when they last recorded it.
That is crazy, because if you think about it, imagine this: the studio gets a call that, hey, one of the biggest stars of the 90s, Mathew Perry, just passed away, and their reaction is, I'm sure they're sad about it and they're like in shock, but the second reaction is, guys, I need a whole team to just get on this, like create a banner, write this text, let's get legal approved from this,
Yeah.
and then
But think of
put that money on ad revenue,
Yeah.
like,
Well,
just ads.
I get it that it's like ad and all that stuff, but think about the other side, right? Like they think of that as, they could be thinking of that as we're off to the races on honoring and like celebrating him. That's the other side.
Very optimistic way of thinking.
I don't think
but
that
yeah.
one is it.
No. Like, but I'm saying like it is beneficial to the business. But like remember, like let's say this is using scapegoat Netflix. You know, it's the easiest one to do. You as an employee of Netflix aren't like, okay, I want to generate more ad revenue by doing this. It's more like, okay, Matthew Perry died. That is newsworthy, and to celebrate him because everyone else is going to do it. Like we need to get on that ASAP. There's some business sense to it, but there's also the other side of like, you know, you're doing what's right.
I don't think businesses think like that.
No.
This
But remember, they're not like the heads. The heads don't make those decisions. They
no,
just
but the
price it.
producers make those decisions, and the producers are looking to enhance their business, and this is the exact work of a producer to come up with something like this.
Well, producers, writers, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I get it.
yeah.
I mean, it is getting a little bit gloomy. I do think I want to celebrate life. That's just how I am, instead of grief over someone. So I think I'm going to continue to, you know, I'm actually going to read his memoir. I'm going to continue to rewatch Friends, even though it is, like you said, evil and producers and some studio is going to profit from his death. But
All studios will profit from his death.
yeah, but I think to end it, I think we should just raise our glasses to Matthew Perry as like a cheers to a happy life, a well-lived life.
Cheers.
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 That was really smooth. What was that?
Well, in the glass today is some Eagle Rare bourbon.
I think we should do more. I think we need to talk more about bourbon. I think it's such a big part of our life. I'm sure that many of our viewers actually like bourbon and whiskey and stuff. And
So so a while back, there was an entire challenge on Reddit about bourbon where they basically said you only need 5 bourbons or 5 whiskeys. I think we can generalize that, right? It's like one that you go to your daily drinker. Now we don't drink daily, but if we were to have one that you wanted to reach for every day, that's that. A Friday night pour, one that's like a cheap mixer, a one that you use to impress your friends, like something that they probably never seen. Typically, people put like Blanton's or something like on that, and a special occasion bottle, one that like you pull out like on your wedding day or your birthday or milestone or something like that. So
I love that idea. I just don't think I'll ever be able to do it because, as you guys know, my bar has about easily 80 bottles. Like I cannot narrow it down to 5. I could never be that bar cart guy.
Did someone just mention Reddit? My am I the asshole ears are ringing.
Your your Reddit senses are tingling.
My Reddit senses are tingling.
Well, we did promise them a couple of Reddit stories last episode, and I am nothing but not a liar. I'm a truther.
Truther. I love it.
Yeah.
Is it a truth off your chest kind of
It
thing?
could be a truth off my chest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
So we have some special stories ready for you guys today. So let's just pick a random one. I think we should do it something interesting where we should read the titles, say them out loud, and then go off of there.
it's funny because you say that, and I'm about to break that rule right off the bat because my title gives away a little bit too much. So I'm just gonna read the content.
Ooh, okay,
I
go
know.
ahead.
It's the entire twist is in the title.
Oh, what the heck?
And that's why I don't like it.
You know, sometimes I ask, why do I even try?
Right.
And this is why. This is why. You see the Monica nest coming out of him?
All right, let's get started here. So I'll read the first one, and let me know what you think. It's kind of long, but I think it builds on itself pretty well. All right, I met my boyfriend on Tinder in the beginning of my freshman year of college.
Aw, cute.
I was a very naive 18-year-old. I had been on dates, but I'd never been in a relationship, and I hadn't even had my first kiss yet. I was pretty miserable my first couple of weeks after moving in, and so I got Tinder.
Fucking nerd. Sorry.
And there I matched with a bunch of guys who went to my school. One of them I thought was pretty attractive. He was a junior and a brother in a good but notorious frat. First of all, can I stop here? Is that a thing? a way to stop your misery is to get on Tinder. Like that.
No, that's in my experience. That's how you start your misery. Like you just meet toxic people. I don't think I've ever had like a good experience with Tinder.
Yeah, my thought is that you go on Tinder
to
hook up.
Yeah.
Right. So like, why is it like, I'm going to try to make friends? I mean, I will say one of my really good friends met their now husband on Tinder, but that feels like a rare occasion.
I thought you were going in a completely different direction. I thought you were gonna say you met your friend on Tinder. And I'm like, interesting way to make friends.
Long time friend, bro. We do.
I do think, and I don't mean to be a jerk, or I don't mean to be an asshole about it, but I think that's like an age thing. I think when Tinder first came out, yeah, you had the possibility of doing these things, but then after the fact, it's kind of devolved into, yeah, let's just hook up.
It's pretty quickly jumped to that, man. Anyways, moving on with the story. He told me to come to his frat's party, so I went with some girls I'd met at orientation. There, he took me upstairs and we made out. But I think he could tell I was very inexperienced, so nothing more happened. I pretty much fell in love with him, even though we'd said about 3 words to each other. I didn't see him until a couple weeks later when he invited me to a frat party he was throwing. Oh, weird. I was expecting us to at least hook up, but when we got there, he was clearly with another girl, and there were tons of other random girls who I assume he was also hooking up with. I was naive, but not an idiot, so I forced myself to get over it, and I didn't see him until my spring semester when I drank too much, and he ended up in my dorm, and I lost my virginity to him. I didn't see him again until fall semester of my sophomore year. We hooked up the first week we were back on campus. I still didn't catch feelings again, though, until we started to hook up regularly every week. Now, I'm giving all this backup story because it's a build-up to what happens later. Again, at that point, I was pretty much in love with him, although this time I did have reasons beyond just him being a large, attractive, powerful, popular man. What?
Oh, wow.
Why'd you have to say powerful? That was weird. We weren't dating, but we got to know each other, and I saw his many virtues. Okay. However, it was still clear.
Is that another name for his dick?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, right? He was a very virtuous man.
Virtue?
Right? However, it was still clear to me that he wasn't into me in that way. And that was one of a number of women he was sleeping with. So I didn't say anything, and I kept it casual. He also had a pretty terrible reputation as a fuckboy. Oh, shit,
I mean,
really?
Makes sense, yeah.
All right? Even amongst his frat brothers. His Instagram comments were always usually filled with them saying things like, horniest man alive, and all 2,500 of his followers are his girlfriends. In case it wasn't obvious, she had to spell out that this guy was a fuckboy to us, so.
His brothers are fucking assholes. Like,
Who
why would you
calls it out?
why would you cock block your boy like that?
Right?
Why would
There's
you call him
bitches
out
on his Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
It's wild, dude. He graduated at the end of that spring semester, and we saw each other one last time before. It was incredibly intimate and really cemented everything I felt for him. So after we both left campus, I confessed to him that I really liked him, and I wasn't okay with just hooking up with him anymore. For my own sanity, of course. Miraculously, he said he also had feelings for me, and he asked me out on a real date. We started dating and have been together ever since.
I don't buy it.
And the whole time has been very healthy and happy for us. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Last Thursday was our 1-year anniversary of becoming official. He got me an incredibly thoughtful gift basket, including some jewelry, a card, and a painting. All right, he fucked up somewhere there, okay? Any guesses on where he fucked up?
He got some other girl's jewelry that was left behind.
Okay, that's one.
It was a painting of his dong.
Yeah,
And he
you
was
mean
very-
his virtue.
Yeah, his virtue.
Yeah.
And he was very, let's say, charitable with the length.
And the girth.
Yeah, right. So he explained to me that he saw my confessional message when he was hanging out with his brother. My boyfriend said he didn't really know what to do and wasn't sure if he wanted anything more with me, but he was tired of sleeping around and wanted a stable relationship. So his brother said he should make a pros and cons list of me. And he did.
Was that the painting?
In the card, though, was a printed picture of a pros and cons list on a whiteboard.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Now, here's a paraphrase of the list.
I can appreciate a man that brainstorms and like time boxes. Like it's an important decision.
I am absolutely on board of making this pros and cons list. But he put a picture of it on the card and said, "This is a romantic gesture." Now, let me first read what was on this list, okay? Pros: cute, great ass, good in bed, horny, likes me a lot, sweet, lots of friends, doesn't go out too much, close to her family, really smart and academically successful, good future ahead of her, and definitely not a gold digger. Would do wifely duties. What?
Well,
Now-
the horniness will help with that.
Now, cons. This is a pretty short list, but he makes them count. Kind of a slut, met on Tinder, frat rat, blacks out a lot, doesn't care a lot about her appearance, kind of nerdy.
I just don't know. I don't know what to say.
And he felt that this is something that he needed to communicate to her. He's like, this is me being out for you.
I just the fact that he's a fuckboy and like a frat brother, I could just imagine him like, yo, I need to find a gift for my first year anniversary, and then he just like, this is gonna get me so fucking laid, dude. Like, oh my god,
Let's
and
do
like,
it, bro. This is it. This is
is
it. And he
it.
probably like bounced off a couple of other
Wait.
people. Was like, yo, this is so
and then like
dope.
his friends are probably on his Instagram again, just being like, oh, lover boy.
Okay, wait. So I have some questions because there's a lot happening here. First question I had is, how can she be a slut if he took his virginity? Like she was clearly not a slut.
I don't think that's the definition of a slut, dude. She could have just gone ham. She could have fucking put up like, what's her fucking face?
But that's not what she's. I think-
Remember this, right? This happened after they had already been hooking up every week for a while, right? So it's another thing where they weren't even official, right? So you can be misconstrued, and he could be like of that mindset where
she's probably fucking other
could
people.
be other, yeah, I'm fucking other girls,
Or-
she could be fucking other
Or
dudes.
who cares when you start, right? Like, she could have started at 18, lost her virginity to him. There's been a long time with, like, they just had casual sex or not sex at all. She could have been, like, the fucking Sasha Grey of that fucking college, dude.
That's true.
Getting, like, raw dogged every day. You don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Okay, but then
Remove that part. We don't need the raw dog part.
I think we should keep that in and us talking about taking it off. We don't even talk about raw dogging. What? Wait, is that the line?
we'll keep it in.
Is that the line?
Yeah.
But
Getting her tuna stuffed. Pulled pork sandwich.
okay.
No, I'm not done.
Or get her beef
No,
roasted.
Pulling a come and go.
Getting her chicken shredded.
Yeah. Dropping a load and hitting the road.
Jizz and split.
Yeah. Not to be confused with Jizz and Go. But no, like, we don't know her sexual history. I mean, even if she had, like, a vast sexual history, I'm not going to judge. I wouldn't call her a slut. But
I mean,
it's
how can he say that when
it's-
he
yeah,
himself is a?
No, he's been fucking.
Yeah.
He's been fucking. But, like, you know the mindset he's at if, like, his pro and cons list includes the phrase, can
Wife.
perform wifely duties. The fuck does that mean, bro?
Yeah. So the OP, her question at the end of all this was, what should I do?
Dump his ass. Like, okay, I'm going based on, like, you know, the contents of this post, right? And I don't have any additional information. But, like, you see how, like, when he's describing her, he was like, she's smart, great ass, you know, nerdy. It was a con, but, like, she has a great career, he also said, which was a pro, but the nerdy part was a con. Weird. And all these things. So, like, you have this girl that's cute, great ass, is probably has a great career and earning a lot, can make a great wife, whatever the fuck that means. And then the
No
way
comments
she,
about her boobs.
yeah, I know. I think that should have been in the cons list apparently. And then the only way she described it was, yeah, he was a pretty frat boy. He was a fuck boy.
He was powerful.
And yeah, he was
has virtues.
powerful, yeah,
And
virtuous.
a very good virtue.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was strong. Like, that's it. Like, so I'm just imagining like a standard, like 6'2", like muscular frat boy.
So you're saying dump, right? You're voting for dump. him.
Dump his
Dump,
ass.
Okay. What about
Dump
you?
his ass like the Shell Corporation did with oil.
That was BP.
That was PP.
It was all of them.
I mean, fair, probably. But BP is the most well known for it. But I get your
Get
point.
the little guys too, bro.
I didn't want to shit on your metaphor like that, but I just felt like I had to. But whatever. Dump his ass. Like the whole thing is he doesn't understand that was like not okay, right?
And that's
a red
flag.
He thought that was like amazing idea, like we had talked about before. And that's the part that like, what's next? Now, as a spectator, a third party, I say stay together because I want to hear more.
I say
what do they do? What do they do at the 10-year anniversary?
I say stay together. Here's my reasoning behind it.
I'm sorry. I'm just imagining like their wedding toast and stuff, and she writes like if they stay together, like her heartfelt speech. She's crying, everyone is tearing up. Like this was beautiful, and then he just like, her rat needs some work. Pussy ain't what it used to be, but that's my girl.
That lion's been tamed.
Yeah. All right, but
So you say stay together. Okay.
I would say stay together for sure. Here's the reasoning behind it, right?
All right.
The reasoning behind it is pretty simple. Okay, this was this idiot, which she said in herself that he was a frat boy.
Yeah.
A year ago when he was deciding to stay with her, right?
He's not just an idiot; he's a virtuous idiot.
He's a virtuous idiot. Yeah.
Are you calling him a dick? I've lost track with these metaphors.
But it's been a year, and he clearly has remembered the anniversary, came up with a thoughtful gift, the rest of them, right? Jewelry, whatever, food, whatever it is, and then this card. Is he an idiot? 100% he's a fucking idiot for, putting that pros list out there. Or even like, maybe he's going for transparency and whatever, but I don't know. I think it's worth it to stay together and at least have a conversation with him, like, yo, this is a very dumb thing.
I don't want to dwell on this too long. Kind of like how I expect this relationship to plan out.
There's an update, so I'll read it after.
Yeah, but you have to admit that like the start of the relationship, it was not like, oh, I'm in love with this girl. It was, I knew I wanted to be in a long-term relationship. She's the one that messaged me, and I saw the message, so why not?
Okay. No, but then it became like a year went, right? And he was actively a good boyfriend, like she mentioned.
That's an assumption.
No, but she mentions it.
I don't think she does.
The whole thing, what I hear is that like they committed to each other, and that's kind of like the sign of growth, right?
Yeah.
And I think objectively that is a sign of growth too, right? I mean, it get that she had to be the one to say something for it to happen, and he was just like, okay, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make this list, but the whole thing is right. She didn't even know that story, and so it's like it's almost like maybe the brother kind of guided in that direction, right? But let me get into the update, okay? So a lot of people seemed invested in my last post, so I thought I would update. First off, I just wanted to clear up a couple things. No, he isn't the only man I've ever been with. I did lose my virginity to him, but I've been with plenty of men other than that after that. Okay, so clearly they were both fucking around, right?
What did I say?
Yeah, clearly there was a reason that he thought that too, right? So, no, he didn't rape me the first time we slept together. I don't know why that. What's the thing? I was drunk but not blacked out, and I'm the one who told him to come over. I consented, and I enjoyed it, and continued talking to him afterwards. And 3, no, I don't have any STDs. I get regularly tested, and he's never given me anything, even though we often didn't use protection when we were just hooking up, including the first time.
That's wild to read this post and like just be like, I think childish enough to be like, oh, that girl is a hoe. Are you sure she has STDs? And just to comment that, like, I think that's like the great part.
The fact that people like that was the thing that they went for. It's like, hey, I'm struggling through this decision. It's like, girl, you got tested.
You have so many opposite sides because like some people were genuinely concerned with like, oh, did you get raped?
Right.
Because you mentioned you were like you get blacked out a lot and you were drunk during this time, and then the other people were like, oh, like she probably has herpes.
I'm imagining like Ken Jeong.
Yeah.
Like that meme he does. I mean, I don't know what he says there,
but
is there another update?
It keeps going. Now for the actual update. Everyone's comments were a real wake-up call. I did already realize, at least somewhat, that the entire time we'd known each other before dating, He had treated me like crap. But I justified being with him by saying that he changed because I'd won him. But the pros and cons list made me realize really just how little he thought of me, and giving it to me made me think that he still felt the same way towards me. Now, I think that's a little, I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but go figure.
Now you have a reason to overthink, right?
Yeah.
And this is clearly that overthinking coming through.
Yeah, and it said, what she thought, this also made her realize that in his mind, he was settling for me, and that he probably only really liked me for the things I did for him. I also realized that although that was fine for a little, he is really hot, by the way. I definitely didn't want to have kids or spend the rest of my life with a man who didn't actually like or respect me. Okay. Now the real question: what do you think the biggest question that people asked her was?
Are you going to marry him?
Okay. What do you think? You guys are missing the obvious one.
Did you use God's secret entrance?
I also did make my own list, as some of my comments said.
Oh my God.
Which made me realize how much I was willing to overlook for an attractive man. I would never give it to him because even though a lot of people seem to think I don't really love him, I do care about him a lot for some reason and would never do anything to hurt him. But here's the list.
I was so hoping to hear that list, bro. Like, oh my God.
It's not as exciting as you want it to be, but there's this mix here, right? Pros, 6'2", big.
What did I say? What did I fucking say?
Big. So she separated 6'2" and big.
She means his virtues.
He has a large virtue. My man.
Virtuous.
Virtuous, motherfucker. Attractive, popular, good job, makes a lot of money, close to family, can be sweet, pays for things, submissive.
What?
She called him a beta ass bitch.
All right.
What? All right, cons.
He said that she was doing the wifely duties.
I don't think that was meant to like stick as much as it did, but that stuck with me. I'm like, yo, wait, hold up. He wants to be dominated.
No, he wants to be the dominant one, but in reality, he's not.
Meaning, like, I'm just in bed.
I think I think based on the list, both lists and this post, what I'm understanding is,
Well, we still have the cons left.
yeah. I think just from what I gathered, he is the attractive, even though he makes a lot of money or whatnot. I think he's an idiot. Like, when you use the words wifely duties and shit like that, I just immediately think there's something wrong. And like where you want to be the quote unquote alpha, or like, and you look at world in an alpha beta way, and he thought he was this controlling alpha, like, man of the house type of dude. And she just like, sure, I'm just smarter than you, so I can manipulate you to do what I want.
And let's be real, like there's a certain sense of insecurity when you're that kind of person, right? So moving on to the cons list, right? Cons, NPC.
That's fucking hilarious.
Wow.
That's so good.
I'm like starting off strong there, right? Has no hobbies or interests, drinks a lot. So it's just funny that they both said the same thing. Clearly does not respect me. Kind of stupid, not interesting, hardly an intellectual, not well read. So there's a lot of the same thing there. Just dumb as fuck. Don't have a lot to talk about together. Friends don't really like him. And the last one's the kicker, considering how much they've hooked up. Not good in bed.
Oh, what?
So
What?
Reverse Uno card.
right now I will
No,
say
he actually thought she's good in bed.
That's why I'm saying reverse Uno card.
Like-
he took her virginity. We all started off with thinking like, oh, this girl lost her virginity at 18 and all this bullshit. Like in college, he was like, frat guy was her first. Reverse Uno. She's like,
right.
I'm the queen of this shit. I handle my virtues with both hands.
So my list made me realize that not only does he kind of have nothing going for him, but being with him also reflects pretty terribly on me and my values, not virtues. I'm not really ashamed of myself because I met him when I was 18, but I hope I will not be this shallow of a person for my whole life. So I broke up with him this morning over coffee. He wasn't really
Over
upset.
coffee.
He wasn't really upset and was kind of just like, damn, okay. He did try to convince me to stay, but I was firm and we're officially broken up. I blocked him on everything because I have no self-respect when it comes to him. And I have no doubt he would try to booty call me as soon as you can if I didn't. My friends are all actually thrilled and are hosting a party for me tonight.
I fucking love this because I'm just imagining it's like, oh yeah, like I'm in my scenario, they're living together, and it's like, oh hey, good morning, babe, good morning. It's like, oh, you want some coffee? Yeah, I want some coffee. What would you want? It's like, oh, like I want a frappuccino. Do you want two pumps of caramel? It's like, actually, I want no more pumps from you. That's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Yeah. I actually want black coffee now with more virtue, and you just don't fit that bill.
Damn.
Wow. Okay, I really like that metaphor.
My friends are all actually very thrilled and hosting the party for me, right? My family is also pretty relieved. They didn't hate him, but they thought he was really stupid.
There's no like, okay, listen.
And that's where this ends.
Now I feel bad for the dude.
I don't feel bad for him.
Dude, but I mean, I will say this, right? Like, there's one thing to be said. I want to see what this list would have been like had they like agreed together to make this list. You know, she's pissed. Like, she's clearly pissed at him. Yeah. So she's like, oh, like, yeah, I'm surprised she did. Like, I'm surprised she still put in big dick, basically. Like, my man, like, that's the next level of respect then.
Virtuous.
Like, yeah, right? Like, this man is that virtuous.
So last comment is just like, this is funny as hell. like as someone that's been in like relationships, like out of all of us, where like, you know, I'm still single, there's nothing more than like a blow to your morale when your friends and family know that you're dating someone below you.
Yeah. There's a whole like, MTV show about this before, if you guys haven't seen it. Yeah.
And like, after you break up, the pure joy your friends have, and you're kind of fucking confused because you're like, my heart is broken, and then they're like, yeah, fuck that bitch, leave that bitch in the back.
I mean, this story's pretty fucking awesome.
Okay, so I see your story, and I'll raise you another one.
Cool.
All right? Today I fucked up.
Oh, snap.
TIFU.
By showing my girlfriend that I'm actually stronger than her.
Wait, what?
I don't... Okay, fine.
Sure.
I feel like there's more context needed because clearly that somehow flexed to him.
Okay, so let's get into it. So when my girlfriend and I started dating, I discovered early on that she can be quite physical. In a sense that she likes to push, hold, punch, even. Bear in mind, she's not actually trying to hurt me. She's just playful like that. I found this both adorable and fun, so I played along. And here's the fuck up. If she pushed me, I would have to act like I had to balance myself. Or if the bed or sofa was nearby, I would fall onto it. If she held me, I would pretend that it was difficult for me to get out of her grip. If I pushed her and she's resisting, I would pretend like it's hard work. Same with me holding her arms, etc. You get the idea. I always assumed that she knew I was playing along and not actually physically straining myself to compete with her strength. This went on for months. You guys kind of get what's going on, right? Like, you guys,
yeah, she got smacked.
One day, we were chilling on a sofa watching a show when I realized I was running late to meet some friends. I told her I need to shower and make a move. She decided this was a good time for a play fight. When she sat on top of me to pin my arms under her knees, I played along and quote-unquote struggled to move her off me. A little more wrestling took place with me playing along like I do. Then I told her I really need to make a move. She was not done and continued to hold/push me back into the sofa. Eventually, I decided I need to, quote-unquote, win this little fight and get going. So I got her...
You probably lift her up with a hand and just, like, put her on the side.
Probably, like, accidentally flung her across the room.
So I got her onto her back, held her hands near her head, leaned down to kiss her on the cheek a few times.
Oh, God.
And let her know again that I was running late. That's some BDSM shit right there. That position.
I thought he, like, accidentally dislocated her shoulder or some shit.
No, that's totally normal. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hands above, like, by the head, holding them and giving her a kiss. That's some sexual normal. Shit.
It is also very sexual.
But it's normal.
But it's something,
that's normal.
Yeah. Not like, you made it sound like it was like,
like a Tuesday,
50
right?
Shades of Grey kind of
like
shit was happening.
Meeting. You gotta, like, make some moves. You also do that.
So I want you guys to put a pin in what you just said about the breaking her hand.
Oh.
She tried to move her arms and couldn't. While struggling, she grunted out, "Why are you so strong today?" I laughed. Parentheses. Fuck up number 2. And looked at her like she was joking. Her eyes went wide with comprehension, and she stopped struggling. "You are always this strong," she said. Almost to herself. "Come on, babe. You did not really think that we are equal strength, did you?"
Oh my god, this dude! Someone need to take the shovel out of this guy's hand.
Then I went to take a shower, got ready, and as I was heading out the door, I noticed that she might have been a little gloom. Me being fully aware that I do not fully comprehend the mysteries of a female emotion, I had no clue why she was upset. I did what all men do, I guess. I gave her a kiss and said I won't be gone for long and I would pick up her favorite Chinese food on the way back. I assumed she was upset about me not spending the afternoon with her. No reply. Fuck up number 3. I should have spent some time talking it through. I instead went on my merry way and had a great fucking time with my friends. She spent the next few hours brewing, simmering, seething, and of course, overthinking. I came home with the Chinese, and as soon as I put it down on the dining table, she sprung out of the corner and attacked me. She genuinely surprised me, and I reacted by bear hugging her to my chest. She struggled with more force than she normally would, and I just held her.
Oh, no.
I kept asking what was wrong. She gritted her teeth and said, "You lied to me." Eventually, she stopped trying to fight me, and I let her go. She then told me how she feels like I lied to her about our fights, quote unquote, and that really all this time I was laughing at her in my head as I pretended that she was actually winning.
Yeah, because it's cute.
I tried to take the conversation seriously, but come on, how the fuck am I supposed to take this seriously?
Yeah. I mean,
So I may have been somewhat mocking, flirting, and generally being an arse about the whole thing.
Arse.
So I'm going to stop right here. There's a little bit more, but opinions?
this is a very tame story coming from the story that we just had.
I'm just saying that, like, I'm just so confused. Like, why did this girl think she was gonna be like? This is a case of where I want to see what the guy and the girl looked like.
Yeah.
Where, like, did this guy actually look small? Where the girl was like, I could probably take him, and was not surprised when she was able to before, and then suddenly he's like, oh, by the way, like, yeah, I was holding back, or playing along or whatever.
Most girls actually go for taller guys, right? Like that's like the whole thing around that.
I mean, from our last post, we knew, virtue and 6'3" is the way to go.
Virtuous, bro. Yeah.
So I'm assuming same build, same everything.
I'm just saying based on like what he said. Like again, I just came up with a story, or not came up with a story, but I just brought the story. I don't know how these people look, but based on him just saying like, "Come on, babe, you can't seriously think this," made me think like this dude's probably bigger than her.
Definitely
Yeah,
a size disparity. Yeah, that's my whole thing. Is like that's the only part of the story right now that I can't wrap my head around is how is she genuinely surprised?
Yeah.
But yeah. So to continue, my girlfriend got mad and stormed into her bedroom, and wouldn't talk to me for the rest of the night. I tried to talk to her. I tried to reason with her, but she wouldn't let up. So eventually, I resorted to bribery. I brought her favorite snacks and put on her favorite movie to lure her out. Eventually, she gave in, and we decided to cuddle on the couch. I genuinely apologized, and told her that I didn't think I was lying at that we were engaging in a playful activity that we do, what normally.
implied.
And that's when she opened up to me, where she felt very insecure, and for the first time in her life, she felt genuinely unsafe, because she always heard that guys are much stronger than girls, but for the first time, she felt it. The vast difference in her strength really made her uncomfortable and scared.
Man, okay. This got deeper than I thought it would. I feel bad for her now.
So I had a fun idea. I told her to make her feel comfortable, let's take a jiu-jitsu class together. And that would help level the playing field. She resisted about the idea because she thought that I would just dominate her one more time based on my
You mean manhandle her?
yeah, based on my superior quote unquote strength. But I told her that jiu-jitsu is more about technique. And then regardless of size, if she had the right technique, she could kick my ass any day.
What makes me nervous is the fact that he knew that jiu-jitsu is about technique. Makes me think that maybe he already knows jiu-jitsu.
I mean, no, you could just have like general idea about, activities. So I'm still like confused. I don't know why it's not sticking to me right now, this story.
So we actually went to the jiu-jitsu class. It was a great fun. She actually had a lot of fun. She was surprisingly really good at it and whooped my ass up and down the mat. And we were back to play fighting on the mat. But this time, she was actually putting me in a chokehold, and I had to tap out a couple times.
Oh, okay. Well, this is like a feel-good story so far.
But everything changed.
Great timing.
When one day, I came home from work.
Did she do an armband?
And she put me in an armband.
Oh my god.
And
What's an armband?
it's a jiu-jitsu move where like they grab your hand, and if you don't give up, they could break your fucking hand.
Oh,
Like your entire arm. Where she took the play fighting too seriously and wouldn't stop, even when I tapped out, and broke my hand.
oh my God.
Yep,
So
yep.
she is the one who broke his.
I
Very
am-
quickly you can break someone's hand in an armband.
I am currently in the hospital and will be pressing charges.
And I'm typing this with one hand.
We are definitely going to break up now. And that was the end.
What the?
That was like, oh, feel good story, blah, blah, blah. Armband. Relationship crumbles.
Literally, the last two sentences kind of
Personally,
destroy the story.
It's his fault, dude. Clearly his fault. He fucked up, though. But he gets it.
No, I think it's.
He created a monster.
He didn't create a monster. I mean, I think that was okay. Like, I mean, she didn't feel safe. He, as a good boyfriend, he was like, have this. But he didn't anticipate her not stopping and being so aggressive and violent. I mean, I know she felt.
She likes the upper hand. I don't think she understood the severity. How do you know when play fighting actually ends? That's the other thing, right? Like,
When you tap out, though, that there's in like jiu-jitsu and things like that, there's clearly this
probably doesn't know
gestures.
enough about that.
If she knows the handband, I'm sure she knows tapping
But
out.
it's
Tapping
etiquette.
out is like the most
But knowing the
simple
moves
thing.
and knowing the etiquette is different, right? But either way, like
I'm
she
sure-
clearly wants. She's a dom. Like clearly,
No,
dom, right?
she in the post they said like even at the jiu-jitsu class like he had to tap out a couple times. Like
Yeah.
she's familiar
So
she's
she
with
knows.
it.
familiar
She
with
knows.
the
But,
concept.
But like
yeah.
she did say like, and I agree with you where like she likes being the dom because like the first thing she said like this OP said was
I just can't believe. Sorry,
I discovered early on that she can be quite physical. Like in the sense that she likes to hold, punch, and even like
she's like one of those 5-year-old kids, right?
And
that
push.
just like keep punching people.
Yeah. Well, right move to press charges. Right move to, break up with her. But because
she did the breaking first.
for half a second, I thought you meant she broke up with him, and I'm like, bro,
what is this twist?
Yeah, his armband breaks his hand, and it's like we need to see other people. We need to split.
nice.
There's been a crack in a relationship.
Yeah. No, but like
They were on a break.
That's the one. That's the one.
That's a good wrap up.
But yeah, no, I think I love the roller coaster I went on reading this, and I wanted to share that with you because it's like, oh, like a real problem where like she felt the gravity of the difference in their strength, and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna empower you by taking you to these classes so you don't feel the same, and she's like, crack.
I mean, the first 98% of this, I was like, this is kind of a lame story.
Literally 98% of the story, bro.
I was like, I don't even want to put this in the podcast. Maybe we'll just edit this shit out. But then,
Yeah, it's like you got him on the next one. Don't worry.
yeah. But the next two lines, I'm like, oh man, it just took a left turn. Yeah, that was a pretty good story. I mean, today we got 2 good Reddit stories. I have a third one. Maybe we'll do next week, and we'll probably hit some hopefully fun topics. I've been watching a lot more documentaries, so we could probably talk about that. We could probably talk about. I mean, there are so many topics, and I'm sure in the world we live right now, I'm sure something will happen in a week, and we'll probably talk about that. So that's it for this week.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Sayonara. Hey guys.
Bye.